My glasses! I can't sew anything without my glasses! Well, I'm done sewing for the day. My dollar readers decided to break this afternoon. So this week was miserable with work. I think I mentioned last week that we were going to be in the office for 4 days this week, which was all 4 days we were working. That was a lot of miserableness working with our consultants, just because of you know the back and forth that we've had to do. We had to do 4 weeks worth of testing in 4 days, and somehow we got through it. Don't know how. It was a lot of work. A lot of learning happened as well, and trying to figure out if something was a defect versus that's how it works. That has been, a lot of fun to deal with. At least in that type of fashion, sewing is a lot easier. You can tell if something's a defect easily. Uh, the chairs, though, there killed my back. It was horrible. Like it was, I felt like an old man standing up every time I had to. My just lower right side, just it was bad. I got to the chiropractor yesterday morning. I called them up and said, "Do you have any appointments?" They said, "Sure, come on down." And when he started examining me, he said that my right leg, which was the side that was hurting, was about an inch and a half shorter than my left leg. That's six seam allowances. He did a few minutes working on me, getting me adjusted and everything, and got me back in gear. So I was able to spend the rest of the day out of pain. So that was a lot of fun. I also had other stuff happening. We'll get to that in a minute. There is one good thing that happened with the work week. Actually, it's two. First thing, there's a lot of scenery at the Midtown campus of our company. Uh, this is the first time I've got to really see it, because the last time we were there back in December, the cube that I had selected faced the wooded area, and we only saw one other person really that day, and nobody was on campus. This week we were in a conference room, and it overlooked the quad where the Starbucks and cafeteria area is. So we had a lot of foot traffic going back there and forth, and there was a lot of eye candy. So if we get to see a lot more eye candy in our new space, then I will be happy. So hopefully we get a neighborhood that faces inside the quad, so I get to see some of this extra eye candy. The other good thing is my commute. It took me 30 minutes to get home on the 2 days that I went straight home. To put that into perspective, it used to take me 30 minutes just to get from the parking deck to the interstate at the old location. And then I still had to do the additional trek up the interstate, which I guess about three-quarters of it is the same. There's just an extra couple miles from our old office. So I am kind of happy with the commute. I'm the only one in my team that's happy with the commute. My manager, it took her over an hour, I think, each day. And one of my other coworkers, it took, like, she complained every time. And then we have one who takes the public transit. And one day he got a pretty good commute, but he also still has to cross the bridge over the interstate. So it's an extra 5 minutes from he gets out of the train station. So I'm the only one who's actually happy with the commutes in my group. But you know, I it is what it is, and we are apparently working from home still fairly regularly. So I'm not going to complain at all with it. Uh, Also, yesterday I had another bath company come out to try to give me an estimate on the redoing of my bathrooms. And I think people have lost their minds. I thought that the quote that I got a couple weeks ago was a little high. And then I saw this one, which was probably about 50 to 75% more than that previous quote. So I don't know what I'm going to do quite yet to get my bathrooms renovated. I've got another company that I need to find the contact information. It's hiding in my phone somewhere, and I'll find that. And so hopefully I can get one more quote and get that project on the ball. I don't know how I'm going to get through that couple weeks of bathroom remodels, but that's not neither here nor now. What have I worked on that's fabric related? Everybody's asking because that's why y'all come here. Yesterday was Saturday Sampler. I managed to get my block done earlier this week. I showed it during my Quiltiversary video. So I did a little bit of procrastination, but I did get it done in time. There was a lot of show and tell at my local quilt shop for Saturday Sampler. And I love Sundays because I get to see all the inspiration that came with the show and tells. The shop owner is seriously tempting me though. There's a new block of the month that they are trying. I'm going to try to throw a picture right about here. Uh, it looks gorgeous. It's made from grunge, which is totally my wheelhouse. I'm trying to find a way to say no because I have about three, four other block of the months that I have that I haven't even started. So I need to get myself motivated. In my defense, all but two of those were purchased before I started doing a lot of project finishing. So they were a little bit more, uh, what's the word, overwhelming to think about starting. At least this one, maybe I will have the motivation to start. We'll see. Um, And then also, before my glasses broke, I got two blocks done from the quilt project that I designed a couple weeks ago. Uh, you're not going to have any clue as to what's happening with this, but this is block number one. Maybe this is block number nine. I forget which order it is. And then this is the block that's going in it as well. It is black and white. I think I've said that before. It's been a lot of trying to figure out the best way to piece these together. So I managed to get two of them, and then my glasses broke, and I I can sew on the machine without my glasses. I just have difficulty doing any cutting and that. So I just said I'm just going to stop for the day and get that done. I've also been playing around with my long arm. Evenings, even though I have been exhausted, I have managed to spend about 15 minutes just doodling on the practice area of fabric that we laid out. And I'm out of room officially on it. So I need to set up a new area of practice fabric. So I have gotten to play with that quite a bit. I had a couple questions that I talked to the friend of mine who I bought it from, and it was awesome because he knew exactly the answers to them without all the details. But it was actually really nice to be able to do a quick video with my camera phone and say, I'm experiencing this, what's going on. And he's like, yep, this is what it is. So that was really nice. But with practice fabric, the one thing I can say is Super Bolt Sunday can't come soon enough. My local quilt shop, once a year, they do what they call Super Bolt Sunday. I think it historically had been right around that great big sports ball event that apparently the name is copywritten. So I'm trying to be very careful when I say Super Bolt Sunday. Make sure that T is in there. Uh, the last couple of years, it's been a little bit later in February. I believe it's something like February 19th, 21st. Let's see. I'm looking at my calendar. 19th, it looks like it is in February. And what's exciting about it is they take everything that came out of their cell room, and then they also bring a whole bunch of bolts out of the main showroom, and they discount them. But you can't buy by the yard; you have to buy by the bolt. So they I don't know whether they estimate how much is on there or whether they actually unroll them and see how much yardage is on each of them and then roll them back up. so they know how much each bolt should cost. And I've seen bolts with a couple yards on it as cheap as $5, and then the more full bolts I end up seeing, I think they get up to like $40, maybe 50. I don't remember. I've bought a few bolts in the past and have had fun doing mini projects with them because it's, the awesome fabrics that we all know and love. Uh, it's just, they lost the rest of their fabric line family and nobody else was buying them. So they got from the sale room. I found some really great stuff in there in the past. So hopefully I can just, find a couple bolts out there that have a good amount of fabric on there and say, look, I've got some practice fabric and I didn't have to pay with a big box shop with a giant coupon. So there's that. So what am I going to work on this week? That is the big important thing. Uh, Work, I think, is going to be a little bit calmer. So I think I should be fine with that. But the first thing I'm going to have to do is find a new pair of glasses because, I can see out of one eye with this, but I'm right eyed, not left eyed. I thought about ordering a pair from the Amazons, but the issue that I have with them is number one, their brands brands that they have on their site. It looks like somebody just dropped something onto a keyboard just to get a brand name. I know that they're all Chinese knockoffs. I don't fault them for that because I have bought a lot of really cool Chinese knockoff stuff. Uh, but when it comes to my vision, I want something that I know will be a little bit more quality. Uh, and that's going to sound funny in a minute. The other thing is, I've got a little bit of a funky face. It's a little wide at times and stuff. It's a little, and there's a lot of glasses that don't look good on me. In fact, I remember a time, I don't know how many years ago, when I was looking in the market for sunglasses, a friend of mine said, "Get aviators. Everybody looks good in aviators." No, I don't. So we were at the mall and I proved it to him that, I don't look good in aviators. So my funky face just doesn't like a lot of stuff. So I want to see what I am getting myself into before I purchase them because, they may look good on the website, but when you get them onto my big clunky head, they don't look as good. So I'll probably be doing a trip to Walmart this week. And that's kind of funny because they are the cheaper end of everything. But at least I think whatever their sunglass or reader glasses are, they are a little bit more of a real brand, even though they cost like $5. Doesn't matter. Readers are usually considered disposable. I had seen that the sampler box, which my post office informed delivery stuff is saying is going to arrive to me tomorrow, has a pair of Lori Holt readers in it. But one, the prescription in those is a lot higher than I need for readers. And two, again, I don't know what I'm going to look like in that with their funky on my face and everything because I think Lori Holt's stuff will probably be designed a little bit more towards the feminine side of things. So they may get donated to somebody. Uh, I'm also planning on playing with the long arm more this week. I need to get a new fabric area set up, basted, and everything, so I get to practice those pieces of everything. I've been having a lot of fun playing with it. Don't think I'm going to be doing a lot of my own free motion on that. I think using the computerized pantograph Pro Stitcher. Pro Stitcher is probably going to be what I do 99% of the time. But there may be a handful of projects that I want to do, my own freehand work, or maybe even some specialized ruler work on with some of these quilt blocks that I have. Like I have a older from a class, a couple quilts that I quilt tops that I finished, and I had ideas in my head about a little bit of ruler work. So maybe I'll get to do some of that with it. Uh, I have really been seeing that So Yeah has a couple videos out this week and last week, I think they were, with handy quilter tutorials on how to use everything. So I have been absorbing that. A lot of it is stuff that I knew, but there was also a few things that I was like, "Oh, that's a nice different way to look at it or do something that might be a little bit better for me." Try it. If it works better, if it works worse, we'll see what happens. And uh, also, I may end up going to the local quilt shop to sign up for that block of the month. Trying to tell myself no. I'm trying to find any type of excuse to say no. But if I can't find an excuse to say no, I may be walking in there and saying, "Here, sign me up." We'll see what happens. Uh, and then I guess the last little bit that I'm going to be working on this week is once I get my readers, I want to get a couple more of the blocks done. It took me a couple hours to get these two done, mostly because it's a lot of intricate work. I did have to bring out the seam ripper for three seams today, just because it's all intricate and it has to go a certain way just to make sure that it's going to look right in the end. So we will see how much time I have with that. And then I realized this morning my socialites is pretty far behind because of the holiday season. So we'll see when I have a chance to get caught back up with that. I don't want to fall too far behind again. I know that Kimberly does her blocks in less than an hour, but I'm not quite as fast as she is with her stuff. So I've got a goal of getting them back in line again, but that will probably be by the middle of February that I'll have a chance to get that done. So we'll see. So, as I said before, I did show and tell at the local quilt shop for Saturday samplers. So that means I can officially show you a completed quilt. This one already has a home plan. I just have to get it to the recipient. This one came from a Fat Quarter Shop Sew Sampler box. It was a lot of fun to do. I think I accidentally bought two finishing kits for this one. I don't know how I did that. There's been a couple times where I've ordered two from Fat Quarter Shop and I didn't mean to, but I've always had a way to either gift the second to somebody or, um, like in the case of this finishing kit, I've gotten more fabric from the same designer. So I think that the background can probably be used with that. So it's a win-win situation. So that's it for today. I've had a very busy week and a fun weekend, and I'm about to go get myself all into the craze for one more week. Until I can see you next time, keep stitching.